Strap in, kid.
Welcome to the Very Bad Batch Explosion Network's after show, breaking down, discussing, and reviewing each and every episode of the Disney Plus original series, Star Wars: The Bad Batch. By each and every episode, I mean we're doing 2 episodes in this one episode, but that's fine. Joining me, my name's John Blight, by the way. Joining me, Ashley Hobley.
Hey, Dylan, excited to be here with, mining.
Well, some people are,
Yep.
So,
welcome to Oliver Twist, Star Wars edition.
we're talking about the episode Truth and Consequences and what's that one called? The Crossing. Brad Rao.
No.
Oh no, Steward.
It's The
Lee.
Crossing and Retrieval.
Oh yeah, right. I did it wrong. Sorry. Yeah. The Crossing and Retrieval. I went backwards. So these episodes are 2-parter. So when I watched last week's episode, and we had a lot going on, sort of reached a point where I was like, let's just wait until next week. And amongst everything else going on this week, let's just wait until next week and just do the full arc in one episode. So here we are. The first episode, The Crossing, Nathaniel Villanueva directed, written by Jennifer Corbett. Second episode, Retrieval, Steward Lee directed, written by Jennifer Corbett again. Synopsis for the first episode was the team tackle a risky mission on a hostile world, and the second episode, Retrieval, synopsis was attempting to recover a lost asset. The Batch must learn to trust a thief. The overall synopsis for most episodes is the Batch are doing the worst jobs they are down to doing, I guess, for Sid. For some reason they're now mining, which seems way sort of beyond their, or under their skill level, I guess, is a good way to put it, under their particular skills.
They're overqualified for this.
Very overqualified for such a job. They show up on this planet, they're trying to do this mining, their ship gets stolen, they get stranded in the first episode. Second episode, they discover, Omega tracks down their little robot, and they get to find the ship, and then they get entangled in this sort of gangster running a bunch of Oliver Twist type shit where he's like ripping off the kids and whatever, get them to do work. Ash, what do you make of these 2 episodes?
I mean, they were solid. I mean, they were I would say they're kind of heavy-handed, I guess, especially the second episode, which is obviously a little bit more fresh in my mind, where, he's just straight up eating so much food while just giving all his workers like scraps and that kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean, it was a solid couple of episodes. I guess the first episode was kind of interesting in that Omega is still kind of dealing with the fallout of Echo leaving.
Yeah.
And her not feeling that Tech doesn't care at all, even though he's processing it, I guess, in his own way. And understands, Echo has to go do what he has to do, But yeah, I guess it was kind of interesting, a whole aspect. Has Epsium ever been brought up in Star Wars before that you can think of?
Not that I can think of, no.
No, yeah. So this is new resource that's very important and very volatile that suddenly pops out of nowhere, introduced to the lore. It's weird. It also, the first episode also had a Lion King moment. The giant stampede coming down.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's right.
A valley.
But instead of hanging up or falling, Wrecker's just chucked down there because it's like, you gotta save we'll all die.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought the second episode was the first episode is so much, I guess, just set up to get them to the second episode, Retrieval, that, and then I appreciate what Retrieval's doing with this but I think the reason I don't like it as much as I maybe could is just because I'm at the point where I really feel like the whole point of this season and these last 10 episodes has just been dragged out too long at this point. Like when you're at the end of the episode and Omega's literally being like, man, there must be poor people out there like this running shit like the Empire. That sucks. Hey, it's just so annoyingly on the nose to the point.
Yeah.
Especially when I'm sitting there watching it going, I get it. The whole point of this season is just to be like, hey, the Bad Batch, or I guess primarily at least Omega, is going to like end the season and be like, no, we got to fight for what's right. And, eye-opening to see what the galaxy is really like out, that there's more, messed up stuff happening out there outside of just the Empire and what the Empire touches. Like, I get it. I appreciate it. I'm just a little worn down by how stretched out this arc is for these particular characters.
These episodes kind of cemented that we're not the target audience for this. It's definitely still very much a show aimed at children.
Yeah, for sure.
And who won't necessarily get the cues and themes.
Oh, they better, because it's so heavy-handed.
Yeah.
It's so heavy-handed in this episode. Old mate's just like sitting there, sculls half the water, gives it to him, and then they have that scene of him in the office just chowing down on food, like, and everything. It's so, like, while handing out scraps. It's not exactly done,
No, it's not subtle in any way.
It's not subtle in any way, yeah. Which I guess is it's just, I'm just at a stage of this season where I wouldn't say I dislike this season, but I'm certainly not loving it, is where I'm at. Like, I watch it and I'm just, we're like, so this is episode 10 out of 16. I'm like, fuck. I really need you to pull the trigger on having something happen here, having something major happen. And I thought it was going to be like the crew slightly splitting up, but then I'm like, no, because now it's just back to the original batch. So I don't even know if that's as big of a deal as what we may think it is. So it's not. Yeah, I feel like that's been my big, because it's nothing to do with like the animation or anything like that. It's just I'm feeling tired. Ash is how I'm feeling.
Well, I don't know if that's completely 100% the show's fault, but but yeah, I can understand. It just doesn't feel like it's very clear that there isn't a clear vision for what this season is. Whereas last season we kind of had the mystery around Omega and all the clones, and they had Crosshair like chasing them like all season. This season they seem to just be meandering from situation to situation. Yeah,
and it's just so tedious at this stage. I remember when this episode, and I don't know if that's the point, because when the first of these two-parters opened and they're mining, I'm like, oh, you got to be kidding me. Like, we're at the bottom of the barrel here when we're like, oh, the Bad Batch go mining. We're out of things for them to do. Yeah. I'm like, is that the point? Am I supposed to be feeling this way? Is this a metagame thing?
Yeah.
Am I getting played? It's sort of annoying. And even more frustrating is I really love Omega as a character. I just wish I could just get like so much more out of this character. So much more. There's like, this character's just primed for a really interesting show. And I mean, not to say that they can't turn things around, but I'm just, every time I see any long sequence where I'm like, I really love Michelle Ang, who does the voice. She does such a good job with her, and got this really interesting conduit to be led through the galaxy in this way. It's another clone, but in a way that we've never had before. It's the closest to a Boba Fett sort of thing that we've never had that. Like, clones are just, they age, they die, that sort of thing. They're all based on Django. It's like there's just so much interesting there, and it's so much untapped potential. I'm beginning to get really annoyed with it. It's bothering me. I'm getting bothered.
Yeah, it's definitely not Clone Wars 2.0 that you were kind of hoping for, I guess.
Yeah, and it's bad because so annoying, because I can't even say it's anything to do with Filoni, because I can't be like, oh, everything Filoni touches, like if he was like running the show fully and not just like a co-creator or whatever and then disappeared off to do the Mandalorian, I can't even be like, oh, it's these other people's fault, because Filoni's over there doing the Mandalorian and whatever else, and I have problems with that show. So it's it's not a like Filoni X factor. It's just there's just something missing for this show, or it's just way too drawn out. That's where I'm at. I'm sort of going off the deep end, but we have 6 episodes left, and as soon as I realized we're like well over halfway.
I think there could still be different things. I feel like Sid is definitely going to betray them at some point.
I mean, she basically has. So,
I mean, she desperately did not want to help them in any way.
Yeah, she's like, I can't be bothered, even after everything they did. And you kind of see that coming because after everything they did to help her in the Too Fast, Too Furious episode.
Yeah.
So you could sort of see something like this happening. I feel like everything that's happening is very predictable and it happens very slowly at the same time. So not only do you know it's probably coming, but it's coming at you slow. Which again, maybe it's it's a kid's show and all these sort of things. So I don't know. Just because I got on a side tangent. What would you? How would you reckon they could turn around the last 6 episodes here?
Bring Crosshair back.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Give us a real enemy or threat for the Bad Batch to have to overcome.
Yeah, not rocks. Not mining. Not a stolen vehicle.
Yeah.
All right, I got nothing else. You got anything? I don't even really need to go over the episodes. I just wanted to complain this week.
No, I mean, it was fine. The robots were cool, I guess.
It's perfect.
The sequence where it was rappelling down the pipe thing. I think that was longer than 60 seconds, but okay. You know what I mean?
Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Thank you for joining us for another episode of the Very Bad Batch. Please subscribe to Holocron Entries for all of our great Star Wars content where I may or may not talk about if I liked or disliked the episodes. Of course, as of next week, right?
Yes.
Right? Yeah. So as of next week, crazy. As of next week, we have the Bad Batch airing alongside The Mandalorian. So on this feed, the Holocron Entries podcast feed, you'll be getting this show, The Very Bad Batch, for another 6 weeks. And you'll be getting The Mandalorians returning to discuss the 3rd season. So see how that fares and shapes up, and sort of weird that the 2 shows are overlapping. But nonetheless.
What is going to happen to Grogu and Luke Skywalker?
Don't even get me started. Follow us on Twitter, explosionnetwork.com/Twitter. If you want to talk to us, you can do that, explosionnetwork.com/Discord. And if you liked the show and the episode or the website and you want to help support any of those things, explosionnetwork.com/support. It's a great place to do that. And until next week.
Epsilon, it's like dynamite. Epsilon, it'll help you win a fight. Epsilon, it's a power load. Epsilon, watch it explode.
Jesus.